We leave Gabby's side of Hollywood and head off to a small town with small secrets, so stay tuned. Hi everyone, this is the HOPA Gamer and welcome to the HOPA Gaming channel. Today on Throwback Thursday Gaming, we're featuring Enigmatis, The Ghosts of Maple Creek, released in September 2011 by Artifex Mundi. This is the first of the three-part Enigmatis saga. From the start, the game sets the mood and feel. The story begins with the player's character, an unnamed female detective who has just woken up after a storm with no recollection of the events that happened earlier. As the detective tries to retrace her way around the town of Maple Creek, the memories start to come back, and she starts to relearn about the town's eerie secret and that she must locate and save a missing girl named Kate Burrows. The game includes the usual hidden object scenes, along with several mini-games. Outside of the hidden object puzzles, Maple Creek mixes things up slightly and introduces some more traditional minigame puzzle elements. These can be anything from logic puzzles, such as fixing a wheel on a car, to pattern recognition puzzles to rearrange and complete a picture. Luckily, there's always a skip or hint button if the minigame is too taxing, and if you're like me, you'd want to get on with solving the case as soon as possible. One of the unique features in the game is the detective's evidence wall that's in her hotel room. Here's where all the gathered evidence and clues are stored, which enables the detective to link related pieces together to help solve the mystery. The journal notebook is also an amazing source of information. It is kept up to date with sketches, notes, and clues that the player can reference at any time, and it really adds a lot of information to the story should you lose sight of the game's plot. The game's essence reminds me of the game HOPA, which we've previously featured here. Both games involve female detectives on a mission to investigate mysterious disappearances with the intention of saving the latest victim. Unlike HOPA, Maple Creek doesn't leave you second-guessing about the fate of the previous missing persons, which further provides motivation for the player to race against time and rescue the most recent missing girl. The hand-painted background scenes are gorgeously done with a color scheme that adds to the sinister undertones of the story. However, the same cannot be said about the animation cutscenes, as all look rather dated. But then again, we're talking about the available technology that was used at the time of its creation, so it would be unfair to compare it to the ones used in recently released video games. The music and sound effects are very atmospheric and really add to the creepy setting. However, the voice acting is a bit mixed. While most of the characters are well voiced, some characters sounded stilted and mechanical in delivery, kinda like one of the voice bots currently being used in some videos today. Now, here's the bulk of my criticisms about the game. Again, some spoilers, so if you'd rather uncover the mystery yourself, skip this. For starters, the hidden object scenes tend to be repetitive. So if you're the kind of HOPA player who prefers more fresh hidden object game scenes, then this game is not for you. While the map gives you an idea on which location to go to, where an action can be done, it doesn't allow one to jump straight into that certain location. Which means that if you're going to apply that in real life, you can just imagine how many kilometers that this detective had to take during the course of this game. Right, okay. I've done the task here in the graveyard. So where do I go now? Oh, okay. The covered bridge. I have to go back to the woods? Oh, Jesus. Right, now where are we? I even have to go back to the farmhouse. That's far from here. To be fair, it's good for exercise. From the early stages of the game, the preacher has been hinted at as a somewhat shifty character. I mean, look at him. He doesn't even look like a priest. He looked more like a club bouncer cosplaying as a priest. I mean, look at that hairstyle. Hang on. He kinda looks like Eric Von Hunk, the A-list actor from Gotcha, the game that we just previously featured. Does this mean... Like most of the game's characters, the Preacher's character is presented rather weakly. There's not enough depth about him, and because of this, he appears to lack presence and charisma. Makes me wonder if that's the reason why he had to use the demonic bell clapper, just to get people to attend his sermons. Another character that confuses me is Richard Hamilton, the detective who disappeared in Maple Creek in the early 80s, while investigating the disappearance of another girl, who turned out to be his girlfriend. The player's character eventually meets him in the middle of the game, and without much second guessing, one can tell that this mysterious man is Hamilton himself. I mean, look at him. He didn't even bother to change his looks and his outfit. You'd be expecting that a man who has lived more than 30 years in a small town would have learned to blend in with the townsfolk if he aims to avoid rousing suspicion.
Alice, I've been seeing that gentleman here for a long time. Do you think that he's,
What? Oh. Nah, he's, probably some harmless tourist. Maybe a drug dealer? Alright.
Detective, so nice of you to finally drop by. Can I interest you in something to eat? Polish sausage, perhaps? It tastes Polish. I want to help you, but there's one condition. No questions. I see you've handled the bell nicely on your own. Now, my unsolicited advice is to...
While Hamilton's brown voice sounds mesmerizing to some listeners' ears, it's unintentionally hilarious because of its inappropriate use. Like, come on, Richard! Your girlfriend was murdered! Show some angry emotion in your voice! You're in a goddamn murder mystery game, not a TV commercial. Near the end of the game, Hamilton was shown clearly planning to take out the Preacher himself. Later, they both disappear, leaving the player's character to start on another chase. And essentially, this is how the Ghosts of Maple Creek ended. If you've decided not to play the second and third Enigmatis games, or the plot of Maple Creek failed to pique your interest in following the story, you'll feel underwhelmed by the ending, and it leaves you questioning who really is the villain between Hamilton and the Preacher, and how the dynamic of their conflicting roles affects the current detective's work. The short bonus game presents the prequel story, which begins in 1980 when Hamilton arrives in town looking for his missing girlfriend. The bonus game partly shows what he uncovered in his investigation, although we saw these in the main game, and the downer ending shows his failure to save her. Overall, I think this game has a promising premise, and although there are hints of the supernatural, it mostly falls in the detective thriller genre, which is a rather wise choice for the developers. I'm personally inclined to follow the detective's pursuit of the Preacher and Richard Hamilton, and finally put a lid on the case. So that wraps up our Throwback Thursday gaming. Once again, this is the HOPA Gamer, and thank you for watching. So be sure to be on the lookout when we...
He is calling. I must go now.